All right, so since we learned about symmetry and reviewed that last week, this week we're going to start making some of our symmetrical artwork. You have three options of what you can do. You only need to pick one. We have our lighthouse and its reflection into water, so it's showing symmetry that way. We have a little symmetrical name monster, and you'll figure out why he's called that in that video. And then we have our graph art and making symmetrical designs or symmetrical pictures using graph paper, and I show you a couple options for this as well. So each of these has its own video, so if you want to do one of these, look for the video that is for that one. And again, if you want to do more and watch some of the other videos, go for it. But these are some examples of what we have this week. Okay, so this isn't going to be super easy to see on here, but I just wanted to show you that if you are doing option one, so the lighthouses of North Carolina, and you're making that reflection, this is available on my website. Okay, so this is the pictures that if you were doing this in school before we left, the same exact pictures and everything are on here for you to look at to reference as you are making your artwork, if this is the option you're choosing. So you can go through here. I also have the original directions that we were using in school. So if you want to do the project just like we were doing in school, you can. Those directions are there for you. Again, you're not going to be able to see them on here, but you can go find all of this on my website. Okay? Now I'm going to show you an easier, more simplified way, because this original version takes a while. Okay? It was going to take us multiple classes. So again, if you want to do it, go for it. But I'm going to show you a simpler way here. All right, so again, this is our original project. So it's a collage of construction paper. I can't even fit the whole thing, so let me slide it. And then the reflection is a watercolor painting. So if you want to do all of this, if you have all these materials, go for it. Again, the directions are on that slideshow on my website. Okay, but I'm going to show you a simplified version where all you need, paper, some kind of ruler or straight edge is going to help in the first steps. And then I'm going to be drawing with a pen, but definitely use a pencil to draw. And then I'm going to be adding color with both markers and with crayons. I'm going to show you why I'm using both in a little bit when we get there. So to start, clear all this out. To start, we need to divide the paper into half. Right, we're making a symmetrical picture. We need to have one half on one side and then the mirror image on the other. So to find the halfway point, you can use your ruler to measure, or I'm going to show you an easy way. I'm picking it up and I'm folding it in half like a book, like a hamburger. And what I'm doing is I'm just creasing, so I met those corners. I'm just creasing right here, not the whole thing. So the other side, crease right there. And what that does is it gives me two kind of end points, and those might be hard to see on the video, but let me show you what I'm going to do with that. Okay, so then I can use my pencil, I'm using my pen, and use my straight edge, whether that's a ruler or something else you found that's straight, that can just help you draw a straight line to divide your paper in two. Draw it on the ground. Whoops. Okay. So now that I have, I don't need my ruler anymore. Well, maybe I do. Now that I have my paper in two, I'm going to ignore down here for right now. This is the reflection in water. I'm only going to worry about this top half. So using my reference pictures on my website of my lighthouses of North Carolina, I'm going to go with the Cape Hatteras lighthouse, so the one I did in the other example. It has kind of the swirl of black and white, and I just like that one. I've been there before, so I like it. All right, so I'm going to start by drawing the ground. Now, look at yours and make sure whatever ground you put in makes sense. What I mean is some lighthouses are on grass, some are on sand, some might be on a kind of a rocky ground. So do what makes sense for yours. Look at your reference pictures. Mine's kind of a mix of sand and grass. So I'm gonna do kind of like, this is the sand coming down to the water, and he's kind of on a patch of grass. So I'm gonna do that as like the patch of grass. Okay. Now I'm gonna draw the lighthouse. Now, lighthouses are pretty tall and skinny, so we don't have a ton of space here, so he's gonna be kind of small. All right, so I'm going to start, and again, you're gonna do this with a pencil, and you're gonna practice and all that good stuff beforehand, okay? But I'm doing the little base, all right, and inside the base is kind of this brick design and little sections. So I wanna add these details so it looks like the real thing. All right, now, lighthouses are pretty much just rectangles, but they are smaller at the top than the bottom. I am going to use my ruler just to help me make that line kind of straight, because I don't think I can do that just with on my own. So I'm just making them go in just a little bit. They're not some big triangle. And then they have a top. So look at those pictures to see what the top of your lighthouse looks like. And really even the shape, look at the picture for the shape of your lighthouse, because some are a little different shapes. Some are a little squattier, some are a little more straight up and down. So check yours out. I'm just using some really simple shapes to make the top of mine. Rectangles and triangles. All right. And then I'm going to do those swirls. I'm looking at kind of how big the swirls are, how many. I only see 3 going across. So that's 1 black swirl. This is going to be a second group of black swirl. And 3. Okay. So that is part 1. And then I can think if I want to add anything else here, if I want to add clouds. A lot of times there's little houses, like the little light keeper's house by the lighthouse. So think about what else you can add. I know some people were thinking of adding like a beam of light, which I thought was a really cute idea. I guess I need my little light in there. So add what other details you want in your picture. And then I'm going to show you how we're going to do the second half, the symmetrical. All right, so now we have to do the symmetrical half of what we already drew. And so I'm going to show you how I do it. You go about it how you want, how you find it's easier for you. But this is what I do, and so you might want to try this out. I find it kind of hard to look at it this way and draw it upside down, right? We don't typically draw upside down, so that's not very easy for me. Instead, what I like to do is turn the whole picture sideways. And what that's gonna do is, one, I don't feel like I'm drawing a picture upside down, and now I can just look at this right here and look at how far apart things are from my middle line and where they are positioned on the page, and I can just flip it. And that just works better in my brain. If you need to do it differently, you can do it how you want. So I'm gonna look at this distance here, and I'm gonna make sure that that line is the same distance from the middle on this side. Okay, remember, symmetry means that it is a mirror image, it's identical, it's even on both sides. Okay, so that's kind of my starting point here. Then I come over here, this is much closer, make that little mark. Now, I'm not gonna be able to make this perfectly the same, and that's okay. I'm just going to do something so that it's about, as long as I have kind of those starting and stopping points. All right, and again, you'll be doing this in pencil. So now I look here, this is kind of where this new part comes off. That's about here. So again, I'm looking at my starting point and my stopping point, like that. And then I can try and mimic what it does. All right, so now just to reference, this is how this is kind of starting to turn out, so we can see that it's flipped upside down. Okay, So I keep going, and now I need to do my lighthouse. So I look at where it starts. Oh, right there, not right there. Okay, and I look at how big it is, something like this. And when we think of a reflection in water, it's kind of ripply, right? So straight lines don't really matter. Imperfections don't really matter. Maybe just adds to the illusion that it's in water. Okay. Again, I can use my ruler to do the sides of the lighthouse, or maybe I don't want to. Maybe I want them a little wiggly so it looks like they're rippling in the water. I think I'm gonna go for it in freehand. We'll see how it goes. So thinking about where this is, need to leave room for the top, so it's maybe there. Let's see, I can even use my fingers as like a guide, so maybe it's a little lower. Okay, let's see what happens. It's art. Mistakes are welcome. All right, something like that. Then I need to mimic this top, so I'm gonna kind of go out like it does. Then that rectangle piece, square piece, triangle. All right, now maybe my hardest part is doing the swirl going the other way, so I really need to think about it. So it starts at the top on this side, so that would be this, and it comes down. So, think it through a second. Leave a little space, do it again, just kind of repeating this pattern. All right, and then if I had added any other details, I would then flip them over here as well. But if we look this way, now we have drawing of the actual lighthouse above the water, and then this would be in the reflection. And here it is completely colored in. So you'll notice I did marker on top. When you're filling a big area, I really try and keep the marker going in one direction so it's not all crisscrossy. So kind of those bold, brighter colors on top, and then I did crayons at the bottom. Notice, one, that they're softer and lighter, but when I did my blue, which I did last, I carefully went over my other colors just to add a little blue in there too, just to kind of continue to give the feel of water. If you have black in your lighthouse, just be careful. You'll see on mine that that black will want to spread of the crayon, so you don't want to have a ton of black streaks going across your water, so just be careful of that. But here is what option one, kind of simplified, looks like.